Morning everybody, and welcome to the Blind Woodturner's workshop. And as you can hear in the background, someone's making some shadings here. So what I'm going to do now is just get the camera off the tripod and pan round and let you see who my special visitor is. So just a second, folks. And it's Martin.
Hello.
You alright, Martin?
Hello, Chris.
How you doing, pal?
I'm great, mate. How are you?
Yeah, so everybody, this is my very special guest. Martin stayed with us last night and he's here today until about 3 PM, where he's off to the lovely village of Holmfirth to do a demo in Huddersfield. So, Martin.
Yes.
Are you having a good time?
I'm having a lovely time, Chris. Thank you very much indeed for having me.
It's our pleasure. And while Martin was here, he said it'd be very rude of us not to get in the workshop and do some turning. So Martin is going to do a little project. What have you got in mind, Martin?
I'm going to do a really simple bowl for you, mate.
Right. So
a nice little bowl out of sycamore.
A nice little sycamore bowl. So what I'm going to do is pause the camera now, and then Martin will be taking over directorship of his project, so he can place the camera around as and where he needs it, and he'll have the remote control. Otherwise, if you let me do it, he's got to leave at 3 o'clock. You know, we won't have enough time. So I'm going to pause for now and we'll get set up, and then Martin is going to do an amazing project for us. So I can't wait to hear him turn. So yeah, let's crack on, folks.
Right then, it's an absolute pleasure to be turning with Chris Fisher today, the blind woodturner, and on the lathe I've got a little, I think that's about an 8-inch blank of sycamore. I've already got it round, so the next step for me to do is to just plane off the bottom, ready to put on a tenon or a recess, not sure which yet. So I'm going to use a 1/2 inch, no not a 1/2 inch, 3/8 bowl gouge for this. Let's get the lathe started. Now you can see on the blank here that it's right from the edge of a board. I've got two sloping areas from the side of the piece. So as I'm coming across the face, I've got to be really careful not to get a catch in there. So I'm just moving the gouge really carefully along there, not to get a catch. Now that's done, I can find a pencil and a little ruler, and then I can mark on. I think I'll do a recess because then it'll just be finished straight off the lathe. Then I can mark on there where I want the recess to be. Have you got a... oh, can I borrow your parting tool here?
Yeah.
Just take the tailstock off. Right, now that's the recess now formed, and I can start to think about the shape that I want to put on. And those who follow me will probably know that I like to have a foot of a bowl that's about 1/3 of the diameter. So I'm going to mark that on just by eye. And then come back to the 3/8 bowl gouge. And start to make the shape. So that's the foot formed now, and now I can start to pull that curve round to where I want, to how I want the curve to be on the walls of the bowl. That's good. I'm happy with that. Oh, I just need to slightly undercut the foot just a tiny bit. Yeah, I'm happy with that shape. That feels really good. Chris, what does this feel like to you?
Feels very, very nice. It's great just being sat here out of the way, listening to Martin working this sycamore and hearing the shavings come off. But that's feeling really, really nice. Love the shape, love the foot. Yeah, carry on, sir. Epic job.
Cheers, mate. I'll give you the money for that in a minute.
Yeah.
Right, next thing I've got to do is I need to sand that down. Now this wood feels a little bit damp still, so I think what we'll do with this bowl in particular is just put an oil finish on today. So I'm going to pause the video now just while I sand it off. Yeah, red button's on, good. Now, I've finished sanding that down to 400. I went from 120 to 180 to 240 to 400. And as I said, because it's a little bit damp still, I'm going to put a single coat of Danish oil over the top of it, and then Chris can leave it for a couple of weeks just to finish drying off before he puts the final coatings on. So just a single coat of Danish oil. That's come up really nicely. Just a little bit more.
So what sort of figuring is in that sycamore? Is it very nice? Is it?
It's generally fairly plain. There's a couple of nice bits of figure just here. There's three kind of remnants of knots in there that's got some nice chatoyance to it.
Right. Okay.
But generally it's fairly plain. It's sort of it's come out sort of a dark honey colour. So that's a single coat of oil put on there, and next I need to do is just turn it round in the chuck so I can do the inside. Okay, that's recording. Now the bowl is reversed in the chuck. It's running really nicely, so I can get on with taking the front down and hollowing out the bowl. There's the top looking nice and smooth, and now I can start hollowing out the bowl to the depth I would like. Tool rest is a smidge too high, so I'm going to drop the height a little bit. Okay, now I've taken a few cuts down there. I'm just going to check my depth to make sure I'm not going to turn this bowl into a funnel. And I can feel I've got a good few more cuts left in there until I get down to within about 5mm of the recess. Still got about 5mm to go. I think there might be one more cut left in there. That famous last one more cut, eh, Chris?
Yeah, that'll be the one that makes the wheels fall off the wagon.
Yeah. Do. Yeah, that's nice there. And just as a little bit of extra little detail, I'm going to just slightly turn the rim in a little bit so it's not completely flat. Just like that, and now I'm going to stop the video again to sand that, and then we can take a better look at it. I've decided to hit this with a bit of a blowtorch, just to darken that rim down, but using a flame method rather than friction. So very carefully start the blowtorch and just rotate the piece through the flame down to the amount of burn that I want. And just let that feather up onto the top of the rim as well, I think. That will look quite nice too. And there we have our nice darkened rim. I'm going to let that cool down before I clean it and put the oil on. Now the bowl is really nearly finished. It's cooled off. Enough for me to clean off some of the soot with some methylated spirits, or denatured alcohol as it's known over in the States. And then I can just put on, for the moment at least, a single coat of Danish oil. And as you can see, that's really darkened that burnt area down. I'm really pleased with that. So that's just a single coat of the Danish oil gone on there, and that will soak in nicely and cure over the next sort of 24 hours. And then in a few days Chris can come back to this to put another couple of coats of oil on, and if it hasn't warped too much with the evaporation of the moisture inside it, may even be able to put a couple of coats of Hampshire Sheen over the top as well. Right, we're on.
Okay everybody, so that was an absolute pleasure listening to Martin turn that sycamore bowl, and it's always a joy and a pleasure for me, and a privilege listening to other wood turners and hearing the shavings come off the tool, and I get a great sense of satisfaction and obviously, you know, ideas and inspiration, and it's just all part of the process, listening to other very skilled and gifted turners. So if you ever get the opportunity to get to one of Martin's demos at a wood turning club near you, I highly recommend it. The guy's all over the place, and it's lucky that he's en route to Huddersfield, and that's why he's been able to spend the evening and the day with us today. So Martin, it's absolutely amazing having you here. So how did you find that little lathe? Was it okay? Everything worked all right?
Yeah, it's a great little lathe. I turn on lots of different lathes and stuff, so turning on unfamiliar lathes is always a little bit of a challenge for the first 2 or 3 minutes, and then you know, you get used to it quite quickly. It's a bit like driving a car, an unfamiliar car. Once you know where the gear stick is, kind of thing, then everything's cool. But it's been great being here, Chris. I really loved it, and watching you move around the workshop. And you viewers, you can't quite see the workshop, but Chris glides around here. He's got this fantastic memory map in his head, and he knows where absolutely everything is, and it's just fabulous watching him move around the shop and moving stuff and just grabbing stuff, because of the way his head's programmed now. Everything is just there in this mental memory map that Chris has got, and it's been an absolute pleasure and a delight to spend last night and most of today with Chris. And I'm gonna here's the bowl off the lathe. As you can see, it's got a really nice honey colour, and that little darkened rim has really added something extra to it. So Chris, there is the bowl for you.
Thank you so very much.
Leave it for a couple of days.
Yep.
Let it dry out a little bit. Couple more coats of oil, and that'll be good to use. Well,
it's a beautiful bowl, folks. It feels really pleasing to hold, and it's put a bit of flame to the rim, which I can just feel. So a little bit of a tactile element there for me. Beautiful shape and form. It smells amazing, and it's really cool, like I say, to listen to a guy knock that out in relatively short time. I mean, that'd take me many more hours. I'd get there eventually, but it's amazing to think, wow, you know, it's literally just what seemed like a few minutes for a beautiful completed project. But also in the background here, lucky me, Martin has brought pretty much everything that he makes and creates, being the founder and creator of Hampshire Sheen products. So I've got the set of intrinsic colours here, and the Danish oil. Is that a food safe? Yep. Danish oil? Danish oil, some waxes and the embellishing waxes, which are coloured like golds and silvers, and the sanding sealer. So can't wait to start using these in some projects. And obviously, what's an amazing bit of news is, I don't know if you're aware, but you probably are now, that Axminster Tools and Machinery now stock Hampshire Sheen products. So if you want to get your hands on some Hampshire Sheen, you can either go directly to Martin or get them from Axminster Tools and Machinery. So you can find this stuff all over the place now, and it's really good stuff to use, so highly recommended. So thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
It's getting near lunchtime, so I've hoped...
Hungry.
Yeah, hoped... yeah, we've got feeding before we kick him out, that's the least we can do. Hope you've enjoyed this project this morning. It's been absolutely amazing listening to him turn here. I feel very privileged to have him here, and until the next time, Martin, thank you so very much, sir.
Thank you very much, Chris.
Safe journey, and
thank you.
And he'll knock 'em dead at his demo tonight.
Brilliant. Yeah, thanks very much, Chris, and thank you for watching. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone.